Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to use a leaf to paint, and I want to remind you that you can paint with any kind of colors you want. And I'm going to do a little bit of a rainbow application on the leaf just for fun to have some different colors. So I'm going to make some green by mixing yellow and blue, and I'm just going to use the primary colors today. So actually every day that's all I do on my videos is use primaries. So red, yellow, and blue in your primary colors, and then I use black and white as well. So I'm making some green. I want to have some autumn colors too. And I'm just going to show you how you could use a leaf. You can just pull one off a tree or find one or whatever to create something, create some art. So some people are so afraid they can't draw, they can't do this or that or whatever. And it really stops them from creating, when really you don't have to know how to draw to paint, because you can use things like leaves and stamps and all sorts of fun stuff instead of actually feeling like you have to draw stuff out. You just don't have to. Now what I'm going to do is add some color to my leaf. Now one thing I like to do when I'm using something like stamping or anything like that is it's funner to use a paint on method. So instead of dipping the leaf into the paint, which can get kind of sloshy, you can just use a brush to apply the paint, and it's going to give you the texture of the leaf, which is really cool. Now you can pull the leaf apart and just do one part of it, or you can do a whole leaf. This is just from a plant I have growing outside my house in my little garden. So it doesn't matter what you use. Now I'm going to use some of this peachy pink color to paint the leaf. So see how I'm just painting the leaf? And then maybe I want a little more red in some spots. So you can change the color as you apply it to the leaf, which could be cool, because then you'll get some different shades. And then maybe I'll have some orangey kind of colors in here. But notice how I'm like spreading it on. I'm just not making it way too thick. I mean, you want enough on there to transfer to your paper or canvas or whatever you're using. But you don't want so much that it is like goppy. Try not to get it on my canvas, but I'm just doing a little demonstration here. And then maybe I want some more like yellow on this part over here. And one side I'm going to do a little bit of green on it too. So I already pre-mixed some green. We'll do some green, but you can do any colors you want. But see, I'm just brushing it on lightly. Doesn't matter what kind of brush you use, really. Whatever you want. And then we're just going to use it like a stamp. So just place your leaf face down, and you're going to gently press. And notice how the leaf is kind of going to stick. The paint, the acrylic paint, is kind of almost like glue, because your leaf isn't going to be perfectly flat, because that's otherwise the leaf would be kind of weird. I mean, some leaves are flatter than others, but then once you have it stamped, and then you're just going to lift, and then you have a fun leaf pattern. Now, again, the less paint you use, the more you're going to see. And then you can also just do it again. So like maybe you want it more faint, you can do it again, and you'll get something, but it won't be as dramatic as that. It'll be a little more subtle. And then you got another more subtle little stamp. And then what's fun to do is you can take some black, or maybe even some like black and green, or something more subtle than pure black, and you can go in and find the lines from the leaf and just like re-enhance them with some black paint, and you can like outline it. So what's fun about using things like that is it takes the burden of like drawing the shape off of you, and it gives you something to work with. So now I have the outline of the leaf, and I can outline it with that darker color. I can outline those little vein impressions from the leaf as well. And you can make any customization touches to it as well. So much fun. And then you can even color it in more. So say I wanted, this one didn't get as much paint because I didn't have as much left on there. So I can just go in with my colors and like kind of color it in and add to it. And just make some fun little additions. Maybe I go in for that orange again. But again, do not feel like it has to look realistic or perfect or anything like that. But it's fun to go in and just play with adding these shapes and customizing. Maybe you want to use like a more fine round brush. And then you can use like some purple, blue and red mixed together for a dark contrast color. And then you can take that purple in there and do what I did with the black and green over here. So maybe purple is more like your thing. But see how, again, I'm just like outlining the shape so that it brings it out on that white background. And you can even add some like customizations to it. It doesn't have to look perfect or realistic or anything. But you're going to get some beautiful leaf patterns. And they're going to look totally different for everybody because you're starting with a different leaf probably. And you're going to get a different result with the stamping no matter what. Even me just doing the exact same stamp, one with a little more paint, one with a little less, is going to give me a different outcome. But it's like again, like it's kind of a blueprint that you can work from instead of feeling like you have to start on a blank canvas and just make everything from scratch. This is going to give you a head start, or maybe it just gives you an idea or a little bit of inspiration. And then I can even add white to that purple and even add some of these pretty purple colors into the leaf, go around the edges or something. Give it some earthy shades. I don't know, you can be really playful here in how you want to use that as a starting point, or you could just do the stamp and leave it and just do a bunch of them and layer them and have it be more abstract. You can go back and forth between your darker and your lighter colors.